Okay, let's see what we got. Now we do have Orbit Kerbin. I might put that one on hold for a little bit. We do have some observational surveys. You got to be really careful with these. So these are done for now in the atmosphere. You just need to fly to a waypoint and do what it says, do a crew report. But be really careful about whether this is above or below. Because if it says below, let's find one that says below. Here it is, below 18.2 kilometers. That's easy. If you can build a jet, you can just do that. When it says above, that's a pain in the posterior. It's like there's a crazy difference between below around 18 kilometers and above around 18, 19 kilometers. So be careful about that. Okay, I do have 124 science, so can I build a jet? I might just build a jet. Yeah, I can build a jet. Why not build a jet? I think I'll build a jet. For 45 science, I can get my introductory jet parts, including blinky lights. There were blinky lights there. We got some blinky lights. Yeah. And we also have, let's see, what do I got left? I got 79 left. I got reaction wheels, the bigger reentry pod. Science is never a bad idea, though. The Science Junior is probably a good plan. I think I'm going to build me a jet. What's over this way? Those are rocket parts. Let's go this way, get the Science Junior, which is awesome sauce. Yeah. Okay. Grab that. Still got 34. Can't do any of those, so might as well grab the general rocketry. Okay. But we're going to do a jet. We're going to do a jet, so we're going to go into the space. Oh, wait, first. First, let's get back out. We should grab a couple of contracts. I should grab me a couple of contracts. And then maybe after the jet, we'll go to orbit. That might be a good idea. So, mission control. For 75,000 Kerb bucks, you can upgrade mission control to tier 2, and that will allow you to carry 7 contracts. That's all. This is always a really good early upgrade to get, because with each contract you pick up, let's take a look at one of them, you do get an advance. So it's a very quick way to just get a lot of money, is to just grab some contracts with, of course, the plan to get them. So I'm going to grab this one here for this one here, fly over a waypoint, or below. I'm making sure every one of them says below. There. Gonna fly. This one's above, so I'm not gonna get that one. Any of the ones that say below, there's another one that says below, I'm gonna grab. There's another one. And then I'm gonna avoid, unless these are... No, I'm gonna avoid all the part testing. I'm really regretting the one I got. We'll do Orbit Kerbin next. Do look, by the way, with these contracts, a lot of them do have expiry dates. Expiry times. Some of them don't, though. Like, for instance, oh, this one does too. This one expires in a day. Wow. We're not going to be doing this for a day. I mean, we're only 30 minutes of game time in. So, that's okay. I think I'm good. I'm going to do what I just did. So, go in here. Going to open up my Contract Plus window. Here's one of the nice things I can do with Contract Plus window is... if I go to the flea one, which I'm not interested in doing with this mission, I can hide that contract. And now I'm not seeing it. Now, if I click up here, I can still see it. But this is a... Now, I like it so that you only see the contracts you're really interested in. So I'm hoping... We should really check this. I'm hoping all those waypoints are close by. Usually with these first ones, they put them very close by. You can check where they are in the tracking station. So if I look in the tracking, let's close the Kerbal Engineer control bar. I don't care about you. Yep, they're all close by. So here is the KSC, and oh wait, let's open up the Contract Plus window again. Right here. Which ones are the ones I gotta do? I gotta go to Gerbert's Passion. Yep, that's right there. That's close by. I got to go to Sector R-HJCD, that's that one. And I gotta go to Kerbin's Hindsight, which is that one. These other ones are something else. Not gonna worry about it. Okay. Okay, so here we are in the spaceplane hangar. We're going to grab the Mark 1 cockpit right there for our pilot. And we're going to put on some science. So I do have the Science Junior. We'll put that on just like so. Science Junior is a lot of science points. For now, I think that's all I'm going to do. Might put a second one on in a little bit. Don't know yet. Then I'm going to go to aerodynamics. We're going to grab the tail connector A to put a little bit of a tail on this thing. Might extend on this in a bit. I don't know. This isn't very long, but we'll see how this looks. Then I'm going to put on some... Some of these, I like, there's two different kind of cans here. There's the Mark 0 can and the Mark 1 can. This is an awful lot of liquid fuel. These two hold, by the way, liquid fuel only. So, but they hold an awful lot of them. This is for jet engines. That's a lot. So I'm going to instead use just these little ones. We're going to go on two-way symmetry. And just going to stick them on the side here for now. Just like we're going to make a short-range jet. We're going to go over to engines, and I now have the J-20 Juno basic jet engine that I just unlocked. Now, for jet engines, you need to provide them with air in order for them to work. So we need an air intake. Those are found under aerodynamics. And we have these small circular air intakes. They're the only ones we got. So this will provide us with some thrust and will provide us with, you know, flyitude like that. Now, obviously, a plane needs wings. They do have these. I find these are just kind of, well, maybe they're not that big. Let's go with the swept wings. Why not? We'll go with the swept wings. There's different choices here. Maybe I'll show people the different choices. There's these ones which... Oh, no, those are small. These ones aren't... I don't mind that. There's that. There's also these guys as well. You can go with wings. I'll go with these swept wings. Why not? And then what we'll do... Just stick them on there for now. I'm just going to tweak them inwards. Actually, I'm going to change a couple things here. It's a good idea to attach the wings to the fuselage and then attach these guys separately so that you'll see why in a little bit they can be moved independently of each other. Oh, the wings should be higher. Not dork down like that. Okay, and these wings require control surfaces, so we need the Elevon 1, which goes at the back. And somehow I gotta get them... I am the worst for knowing which way. Oh, put the snap? There it is. Take the snap off. That helped. Okay. So that is that. This thing also needs some kind of rudder. The only option I really have are these tail fins, which are, I'll put it on single symmetry, which honestly are kind of huge. And now I'm going to take a look at where the mass and the lift is. For a plane, you want the lift to be just behind the center of mass. And you can see it is way behind the center of mass. So we need to bring this lift majorly forward. Now, there are some options here. I'm exploring my options. Like, let's take a look. We still got some more parts to put on, by the way, or aerodynamic parts. You could just slide these forward like that. That'll work. But then you get into the problem where your hatch gets covered. You can either slide these downwards and then slide them inwards like that. I think that's probably still interfering with the hatch. I suspect it is. So you can also slide them upwards. But then that looks kind of stupid. Stupid, I think so. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Different options. I'm just sort of... Nope, I need to take the snap off. Trying to see if I can make it look good this way. They're at a funny angle to each other, unfortunately. Okay, we'll tweak them further, but that is one option. Unfortunately, what you got to do also is you got to put on some to complete the tail. And these would be called elevators. And now you can see I really got to slide these wings even further forward. And that's looking exceedingly stupid. So the other option, instead of doing all this stuff that I'm doing here, is to simply put these at the front. In which case they're actually referred to as canards now. And then move these wings forward. Still kind of looks funny, but at least now my meh. We'll see. We'll see what she does. I always end up building these things differently. Maybe these swept wings weren't a good plan. Do I get less lift? Let's take these off. What if I went with these guys? I think I might be better off with these. I think I'm better off with those. Sorry, chucking those away. New idea. I think I get less lift with these. I think the swept wings are just too much lift. I'll say one thing, that for KSP2, that's one thing they do really well are the planes. They look so much better. I'm doing the same problem where I'm sticking this. There. I think that looks better. Bring them up a little bit. There we go. And we can take these, the sills, I guess is what you would call them, and we can move them outwards, move them downwards. By the way, if you run out of room to move it, like this won't slide here, I'll show this. This won't slide any further, but if you hold the shift key, you can slide it a lot further. Slide the wings down a little bit. Probably getting too much into the tweaky tweaks, but am I covering the hatch? I might be. So let's move these back. I think that looks a little better. I hope other people agree. If you don't, well, life's disappointing sometimes. Let's grab the wings, slide them back a little bit. There we go. That's all right. What about these guys at the front? We come down a little bit. Further. There we go. You can also, by the way, affect where that center of aerodynamic pressure or center of lift is by tilting these. See how that, if you want? That's another way that works. So if you can affect that position by just the angle of attack of these parts. I'm going to keep it, though, horizontal. All right. We're going to go with this. Okay, so we'll tweak them again. More science parts. Yeah, I think it's all right. Okay, more science parts. So I put on I'm going to stick with just this. Well, there's a gap here, so we're going to grab these wings. Slide them in just so that gap doesn't show. Okay. More science. That's what I was at. So we're going to put on a mystery goo. Just a single one. You can always fly this thing multiple times, too, if you want to collect more science. Put on a thermometer. Put it right about here. And a barometer. That's pretty much all of our science. And now what we need are some landing gear. So we do have these guys here. Now, these LY-01 fixed land are really spindly. They will break on you in a heartbeat. So one thing with landing gear is always make sure when you put them on that you have the snap on, or else they might not be going straight down and lined up straight. And then after you put them on, also the other thing you want to do is always attach them to the fuselage. So what I'm going to do is just take these. I put them on the tanks there, but they're actually way better off Like, for whatever reason, Snap-on... Oh, for goodness sakes. There. They're better off always attached to the fuselage, and then you can just take this and slide it back down again. They're stronger when they're attached to the fuselage. There, like that. Okay. So what I want to do, let's grab these with the move tool, is put on the center mass, and you want the wheels a little bit behind the center of mass. So actually, that's probably pretty good where they are. And then you also want to give them a reasonably good, and if you run out of room, just hold the shift key, and you can slide them out further, maybe down a little bit. You want them to have the wider the footprint you can give them here, a little bit lower too, so the back end won't end up whacking. That's pretty good. For now, we'll see that. They might be too far forward, we'll find out. But you want them just a little bit behind the center of mass, because when the plane pitches up to take off, it's going to be pivoting on these wheels. And then we get this forward steerable one, the LY-05. Center of mass off, put the snap on, single symmetry, and that guy goes to the front. So, I don't know. It looks okay, I think. I think it looks okay. Now, when this guy is sitting on the runway, you want it to be pitched up slightly, and that will help with your takeoff. So the way to find that out is to grab it by the cockpit or hold the shift key, mouse wheel down till the wheels just begin to clip into the texture that makes up the floor, and you want the forward landing gear a little bit lower than the rear ones, which they are, so I might be good the way it is. I think this is looking like it's something that might just fly. Let's throw on some batteries. I don't know why, but I'm going to throw on some batteries. I guess because I can. And I'm going to throw on a Communitron 16S antenna. Single symmetry, and now I got to guess at the rotating. Oh, second try, I got it. Stick that in there. This one is really hard to break. This one is very easy to break. So when you're having something that's going to be deployed and communicating in the airstream, probably don't need it, but there it is. Okay, last thing I want to do with this plane, again, we'll take another quick look at the center of mass and center of lift. That's not bad. That's kind of like what you want, so we'll see how that goes. The last thing you want to do is tweak the aerodynamic control surfaces. You want each of them to be responsible for a different aspect of the plane's attitude control. So for instance, these guys on the wings, you want to control roll. So turn off the yaw, turn off the pitch. And again, these come only if you have tweaked on advanced tweakables. That it'll make the plane easier to fly. As well, I always find my planes are too twitchy, so I always just from default turn the authority limiter down to 10 degrees. On the tail fin here, tail fin is for, or the rudder here is for yaw control left and right, so we want to turn off the pitch, turn off the roll, and again, turn this down to like 10%. We can tweak that later if we don't like it. And then finally here, these canards are for pitch control. So turn off the yaw, turn off the roll. And again, I'm going to put them down to like 10%. And this is my first jet. We're going to save this, and we're going to give her a test fly. Well, thank you, Dragon's Battle. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Jebediah, yeah, we'll go with Jebediah in here. And again, this is just going to be a test fly. We're going to probably tweak some things. If it goes well, we'll go with it. If not, we are giving ourselves permission to crash. I once told myself I'm going to do a hardcore mode, no reverts, and I turned reverts off, which you can do in the settings. I would advise you never to do that. Okay? Put this on terrain, put this on free, just that's a personal thing. Put on your SAS, throttle up because these engines require throttle control, so I hit Z to go to full thrust, And we're just going to hit the space bar, and we're going to see... Oh, take the brakes off would always be a good idea. I didn't put any lights on it either. I'm going to put some lights on it when we get back. Okay, so we're pitching down the runway. When this gets around 50 meters per second, I'm going to pitch up. And we're going to see how she... Whoa, we're veering to one side. Well, it pitched up easy, but it did veer to one side. Oh, no, I don't know why. Okay, let's see what our control surface is. So it took off easy enough. The pitch control I like. Up and down like that. Okay. Roll control. That's pretty good. Yaw control. That's a little bit heavy. We put it down to 5. It's a big... Look at our palm trees down by the shore. Isn't that sweet? Got some nice palm trees down there. Let's give this some flying. Okay, let's see. Right now, I'm just kind of screwing around. So if I crash, I crash. It did kind of jerk to the left on the runway. That's maybe the front landing gear's fault. I'm not really sure. Oh boy. That was close. Okay. But, I mean, it flies well. I can't complain. There we go. And by the way, the closer the center of lift is to the center of mass, the more maneuverable your plane is. So this one actually has the center of lift pretty close, so it's not bad. But then the less stable it tends to be. But, yeah. I think this is pretty good. So all I did was tweak down to 5 degrees rather than 10 degrees. Sorry, I'm just going to have a little drink of water here. And we'll try and go for a landing. Now, these landing legs I mentioned at the back here are very spindly. Oh, the other thing I should do... oh well, we'll just leave it. I should disable the brakes on the front ones. Okay, where are we? There we go. I like this plane! I do. Okay, throttle off. It took off no problem at 50 meters per second, so its stall speed has to be below 50 meters per second. You don't want to come in, and stall speed, I mean, what's the speed you need to go and still keep a level flight? So I'm now down to 60 meters per second. You don't want to be much above your stall speed when you come in for your landing. I mean, you want to be above it so you don't just drop on the runway, but you don't want to be much above it because you, especially on these terrible landing gear. Okay, we're going to try and come down nicely and gently and... Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I mean, we survived. Okay, let's revert flight. Back to the spaceplane hangar. It's funny, on my plane tutorial, I often get people complaining about, they're my landing gear. You can see it's not just you. It's me too. Okay, so I'm going to take these guys. We're going to... Let's see. They're pretty bouncy, weren't they? So... Can I not... Oh, these guys don't have brakes, so I don't have to worry about the brake part of it. I think just the back ones, really, that are the problem. Brakes are fine. Let's see. Spring dampener override. So we're going to up the spring strength to 2. Up the dampeners as well. 2 point... There we go. Brakes, I'm not worried about. It's the spring strength that has the... same with this one. Spring strength up to... I don't think the front one's real. I think the back one was really the issue with that bounciness at the end. And then, probably get into the friction control and up the friction on the rear landing wheels, and that will help you stick the landing a little bit better. I think, though, what we're going to do... I think I'm going to call... here. I didn't test if the hatch. I'm just noticing these are pretty darn close to the hatch. Okay, we're gonna see what happens here. See what happens. The landing gear are so much better once you get those deployable ones. I still forgot to put lights on it. Oh well, whatever. Okay, so let's see here. We're only gonna be able to do one of these, but I think this will be from the runway. Yep, 3 science from the runway. We've already done a flying one, so there's no sense to do that. I'll save this one for when we're flying. We can do a temperature scan from the runway. We can do a pressure scan from the runway. We can do a crew report from the runway. By the way, every building here, and some of the buildings are more than one biome, but everyone's at least one biome. So if you drive around, you can collect a lot of science just touring the KSC. Okay, let's get out Jebediah. Good. I'm glad to see he got out no problem. Let's take his helmet off. And can we climb up on the top? I'm holding F, but it doesn't like that. Can I reach this stuff? Again, poor design on my part. I can. Can I reach this guy? Oh, that doesn't really matter. We can do an EVA report, though. So there we go. Oh, and just to show people as well, let's drop down. Okay, we did an EVA report from the runway. Oh, we're going to need to store it because we already have an EVA report. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to take this and we're going to get a little closer. There we go. We're going to take that crew report, but then we're going to store our experiments so that we clear up the EVA experiment that Jeb has. But if I grab Jebediah, pin the menu, if I jump and do an EVA report, oh, I hit the parachute. I did. Okay, I got to make sure my mouse is in the right spot. I just did flying over Kerbin shores for 5.6. So that was Jeb flying. So that's a silly little trick, but it does work. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. And we jump. We can reach that. And board. Okay, so let's see here. Again, that there. Camera to free. SAS on. I'm gonna quick save. So if this goes terribly wrong, I can revert back. Brakes off. Throttle up. Engines on. Oh, and we got some waypoints to go to. I'm completely forgetting. So let's get up and I'll talk about Waypoint Manager. Let's get up. Oh shoot. Waypoint. Oh, I don't like jeepers. See, okay, that's why I quick save. So there is something up with those landing gear. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I should probably just, this is always the advice I give people when people tell me to do this, is I should probably just take off those rear ones and put them on again. That often fixes the problem, but I might, let's see if we can make it work. Anyway, let's take a look at contracts. So I forgot entirely, I do have some contracts here. So open up the Contracts Plus window. And I got 3 waypoints I got to hit. And they do have the waypoints here on Waypoint Manager. And so I love how it gives me the distance to each of these waypoints. So the one, oh my gosh, I have desert airfields. There's too many. What's the closest one? I got 40.2, this one here, 30.6 kilometers, and I can select it just by doing that, and now I got that waypoint selected. Now the alternative to that in stock is to go out here, find, is it this one I did? Yeah, right click on it and say activate navigation. Accomplishes the exact same thing, but Waypoint Manager is really nice little tool there. Okay, we're going to try this again. So throttle up, brakes off. Concentrate. If I crash this time, I'm going to replace those landing gear and hopefully it won't be so wonky. Yeah, it really wants to go on. We got some bounciness going on. Come on, up, 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 up. Oh my god, the landing's going to be fun though, isn't it? Okay, so I got my waypoint selected. Now, what is super groovy is Waypoint Manager. If I was again playing in stock, I do want to tell, I can see here the waypoints to the south of me, so I need to go towards the south. I would do this and head southwards, and I can see the waypoint on the Navball. But Waypoint Manager does a couple of other things. Number one is it makes the waypoint visible in flight view, which is great. The other thing that it does too is it gives you some information. I'm 53 kilometers away. I'm going to be there at my current speed in about 6 minutes. I can also get into the settings and give me a heading to target, and it tells me that I got to head at a heading of 180.8 degrees, which is like, oh, okay, I can change my heading here. So it's not something that, you know, it makes it, this is one of these things. I wish you could at least see the waypoints in the stock game. I find that really handy. Now, what do I got to do when I get there? That would be handy to know. I'm going to be there any minute now. Which is this one? Zoltronic something, whatever. Kerbin's Hindsight. This one. I got to do a crew report, so let's get ready to do a crew report. Let's get ready to do a crew report. Yeah, I really do need to tweak that plane. I think I should just take the landing gear off. But you know what? We're gonna kind of roll with it. Like take these landing gears off and replace them. I don't think the back ones are quite right. So basically now I'm just waiting until the waypoint starts to flash, and that will tell me I'm close enough. I need to be below 18.5 kilometers in altitude, but you can be as much below as you want. You can see I'm nowhere near that altitude. It doesn't matter. And then when I get there, I need to do a crew report. So at some point, I'll get a little message saying that we're close enough. Oh, I should actually probably time warp a little bit here. Okay, we're 18 kilometers away. It should be pretty soon. I think it's when you're around 10, maybe? I don't know. Do that. I don't need to go up. Why am I going up? Don't go up. That's just up. Keep your speed up. Should be getting up. There it is. So there's the message. The waypoint starts blinking. I do myself a crew report, and the contract here has gone green. Crew report's not worth anything, but that doesn't matter. And then I need to open up Waypoint Manager and find the next closest one, or again, I can go into map view, but I like this better. So there's one at 66 kilometers and another one, I guess that's the closest one. Yep, so we'll pick that. Heading of 332. There it is. So it makes this all much easier. I can get rid of that contract now. This one is another crew report, so that's cool. Well, euphemism, I'm very glad you find my stuff useful. I'm not entirely sure about this jet, but it seems to be getting the job done. Definitely the landing gear need to be. And again, I would just say to people that are getting frustrated with the landing gear, it's not just you, it's everybody. My best piece of advice, take them off, put them back on again, and hopefully it'll be better. Maybe, I do have them tweaked outwards quite a lot. Maybe that was a mistake. I don't know. Time warp. Let's get there. You should drain the monopropellant. 100% true. Lindo, thank you very much. I do have monopropellant in this cockpit, as I did with the two capsules in the rockets I did beforehand. Monopropellant I am not using, and you can save yourself a little bit of weight by removing that in the vehicle assembly building. Unfortunately, I can't do that here, but that would have been a good idea. I always forget that one. Alright, so where are we here? Still 30 kilometers away. Let's get there. I'm on time warp, so everything's a little bit glitchy and funny. So I'm looking, yeah, probably not going to get into an orbit, but definitely next week we'll definitely do the orbit business. Okay, we're flashing. Time warp off. Crew report. Crew report. There we go. So again, that one goes green, and we have one more at Gerbert's Passion. We'll open up Waypoint Manager again. Select Gerbert's Passion. It is only 13 kilometers away. A heading of 285. Oh, I can see it on the Navball here. And again, all Waypoint Manager is doing is just making my life easier. And life easier is not a bad thing. You know, it saves me from having to go out here and just right-clicking and selecting the nodes that way. And also makes the node visible. There it is there. Oh, we're there. Is it a crew report again? Yes, crew report. Done. Oh, this one's flying over the highlands. Nice, okay. So that one actually has some science connected to it. Which reminds me, I should be able to do a temperature scan flying over the highlands. Oh, I'm flying over mountains now. I've forgotten entirely about my material study. Let's do that. And the material study is 17.5 science, flying at Kerbin. And the barometer, I'm not entirely... I didn't even do it while flying at Kerbin, so I've been forgetting about my side. I love ReStock's retexturing of... I'm not crashing into a mountain, I know. Of this. Notice the little tomato plant, little, I don't know, little squeegee toy there, someone's moldy sandwich, some, you know, new age crystals. Nice. Okay, so we're here. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of our contracts plus window. Now comes the fun part of getting this thing home. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That is going to be fun. So we clearly need to turn around. Getting some nice mountain views, though. And I'm just, I don't know, trying to just get some nice mountain passes here. Without crashing, of course. Alright, so, oh, I can use this too. You can actually put a waypoint out there. There's the KSC, see? So you actually get a heading and stuff. Pretty quick. That's good. Don't need to keep it. The heading for the KSC is great, especially for if you're coming from far away. Can I land the plane anywhere? The answer to that question is yes, absolutely. I can land it anywhere. I do not trust these landing gear on anything. Well, I don't trust them, period. But I would like to get as flat a surface as I can to land them on. So I am heading back towards the runway. There's also, for me, I don't know, something personal. I like landing on the runway. But that could be just me. But yes, to recover this plane, I could just land anywhere. There is a very slight cost improvement for actually putting it on the runway, but it's not much. And the runway isn't that flat either. That is 100% true. It gets better when you get off of that Tier 1 runway. I am 100% going to be doing a quick save, just to let people know. And yes, X-Stratified is saying the best option is to land on the water with these wheels, and that's my backup plan. I'm going to quick save. There we go. And if this is an unmitigated disaster, in other words, if Jeb does not survive, then I'm going to revert back to that quick save I just did and put it down in the water. Landing in the water is safer than landing with these. And again, between the streams, I might tweak with these guys a little bit. See if I can get them to not be so terrible. But they are terrible. They're terrible landing gear. What can I say? Okay, so we're slowing down. I've just cut my engines. Again, the idea is when you get towards the runway, you can You don't want to be going much above your stall speed, which for this plane's around 50 meters per second. And you can do little flares like this, little ups and downs. That bleeds off a lot of speed. So that's an option. I might, rather than landing on the runway, I might just land on the grass beside the runway. I honestly believe it's flatter. So I might just do that. And then I'll drive on the runway and go, ta-da! Okay, so gotta watch my altitude coming up over the treetops here. Gotta watch my vertical speed. I gotta be as gentle. I'm not going for the runway on purpose. I think it's actually flatter on the... lead a little bit, as much speed as I can. Okay, really gently. Very gently. Feather touchy. Feather touchy. Here we go. Here we go. Feather touchy in the grass. Ha ha ha! Oh, 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 whoa, whoa! I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting this settle itself out. It's doing itself a little power slide. I'm okay with that. You can do a power slide. It does not want to steer. Here we go. Back this way. That was hair raising. That was hair raising. I tells ya. We'll give it a little bit of gas here. Okay, we now got ourselves a little car. Oh, look at the daisies! Aw! Look at the daisies here. Those are actually monster daisies, but they're pretty. Okay, I've not played with Parallax before. I've always taken it off because of performance issues that I have with it, but I did upgrade my graphics card for KSP 2. So I got to do something with that graphics card, so I got Parallax back installed. I'm going... Where's my runway? Oh, I'm way past the runway. I just want to show people before I'm done that how you can, and I'm not going to do it now because it gets pretty tedious, but you can build yourself a little jet car at this stage of the game. Basically, just take something like this, take the wings off, and just drive it around the KSC. You will find yourself all kinds of science that you can collect doing that. So I'm just going to go over to, say, one of these buildings just to kind of show you. Going to get ourselves out of the rough here. There is a bit of an uphill, so hopefully this won't have any trouble doing the uphill. I'm going to take the uphill on a little bit of an angle. Oop, nope, not too much throttle. Up we go, up we go, up, 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 up. Nicely done, Jebediah. There we go. Okay. And if you bring yourself in, park right next to one of these buildings. Come on, brakes on. So this is the administration building, the Tier 1 administration building. And if EVA Jeb... Actually, what I should do, too, is collect me some science. Take that. Take that. Take that crew report. EVA Jeb. And get on down. And I can do an EVA report, and you can see here I'm doing an EVA report from the administration building for 2.4 science, and I could do that, like, I know this flagpole is another biome, and then the astronaut complex is a biome, and there's a couple of biomes in around the research and development, and there's biomes around all of the buildings that you see here, and as you upgrade buildings, you actually get new biomes. That is really, really cheap, easy science. So if you want, you can build yourself a little jet car and just go around and tour all that. Or not. It's up to you, but it is there. Let's do a temperature scan. Yep, by the administration building. Temperature readings are quite literally nominal. Not sure. Okay, and then another one from the... And then we can do a crew report from the administrative building. So, you know, fair amount of science to get here. Anyway, I'm thinking, let's see here. Yeah, I'm thinking, let's recover. Not quite on the runway, but that's okay. Okay, so anyway, I mean, we recovered, we did some contracts here. We recovered 64 science. I've hardly optimizing this, I don't think. I'm now up to 79.5 science, so we'll unlock ourselves some more stuff.